So right now we're entering into the Bermuda. You can see it right there, and it's super thick. Here's some more Bermuda that's real thick, and you can see it goes all the way out and about over through there. But right there is where the other blades were, the high lifts, and it cut it just as smooth as I'll get out. And then there's where the Finisha blades were, and you can see before I blow on it that there's a couple of mohawks right in there. See them, how patchy and fluffy it is? We'll see how it does here. I'm gonna go real slow. So it's doing a little better if I go real slow, but it's still not a just absolutely smooth cut. You can see mohawks right in there, real big. All right, so we're gonna see how it does in field grass that is junk and just go around through here. I'm going at a decent rate of speed. I mean, it seems to do really good in that. In that field grass and stuff that's just weeds, I mean, it's absolutely chopping that stuff up, mulching it, and it looks as clean a cut as you're gonna get. We'll see when we go back around through there, but I'm gonna mow this up. I've blown it over in itself, so it's gonna be cutting up twice of what it was, and we'll see how it does there. But so far, it's cutting it, I mean, as smooth as I'll get out. And I'm cutting it low too, and that stuff's thick. So, I mean, it's cutting it down as clean as you'd want to cut. I mean, it's busting that stuff up real good. There's a few scragglers right there. That briar, it didn't get. And then this real thick weed there. But, I mean, it's doing pretty good in there. It's discharging fine. I will, say that for me, a high lift blade is really hard to beat because you can come and do this with a high lift. And also you're getting further discharge with a high lift that I've seen between these two. But, so far it's cutting, like I said, there's a few scragglers through there as I cut into myself and got thicker. But any blade, the more you take on, the worse it's going to get. But those first two passes, it cut super fine. It did spit this out. Big old chunk here, it did spit that out across through there. But this would pass. This cut would pass for sure. You're mulching it up and chopping it down. And here's where we went around. We was going pretty quick through here. Left a little bit right there. Right there, it didn't get that briar again, that briar stem. But it's still a pretty clean pass. We'll go back on this side and see how it does. But, you can see how low I've got that deck compared to what I normally run it at. This part here is some pretty thick, weedy junk grass that I don't treat. And, there's just complete junk. It's not field grass. Obviously, I cut it more than regular grass, but I haven't cut my whole yard in 6 to 8 weeks, and this probably hasn't been cut in a week after that. But it doesn't normally grow near as thick, and it's patchy. And so I'll cut this grass too and just see. I don't think that there's hardly any Bermuda or anything in it, but I'm going to put this on just 3 3/4, which is 1 notch above where we had normally been cutting. Drop it down and run it through here just to see how it does here. Looks pretty good so far. There's just a little bit of everything in here. I'm going about 3/8 full speed. I'm not going real fast. It doesn't produce as good a stripe as like a normal blade does, and it makes this weird looking triple stripe deal. You can kind of see the stripes with it, but for some reason, so like a normal high lift blade, if I had, on the other where we was striping before, I already had stripes made, so it didn't have to produce its own stripe. Now these aren't going to produce a ton of lift, and that's why you're seeing not as clean a cut as like a super high lift blade or something of that nature. But it also leaves almost like, you can see, I don't know if you can see in video or not, but it's like these little strands of grass, and that's kind of where it's fluffed at right there. So it's like it's not producing good vacuum all the way across the deck. And you can see through here, like in that spot there, it left a bunch through it. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be super hard on these blades, but for what I'm doing, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense and where I'm at. Now, I tested it in Bermuda, really thick Bermuda, and I didn't like the effect that they had either. But I've got the Beast blades that have an even lower lip, and I think maybe a little higher wing on them. I'm not sure. They don't look like they're any higher, but maybe it is a little higher. But they're made for even worse cutting brush and stuff like that. And I think these are pitched more towards cutting like viney, overgrown junk yards to see that they chop it up even more. But I mean, as far as it chopping it up and getting it cut up, the cut, I mean, I don't see anything laying on top through here. I mean, there's some, but it's not anything that's like big chunks. Now, in the Bermuda, it was spitting out quite a bit, and through here it did some, but it's not drastic, and, you know, you're not getting a big overlay of grass on top. But I didn't either with the high lifts. So, you know, like I said,